The world changed forever on September 11, 2001, when terror struck the heart of America. In response, the United States launched the Global War on Terror, a campaign that spanned nearly 2 decades. This war targeted militant Islamist groups like Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, who were responsible for the attacks. The initial focus was on Afghanistan, where the Taliban regime was providing sanctuary to Al-Qaeda. U.S. forces, along with their allies, invaded Afghanistan in October 2001 to dismantle the Taliban and capture Osama bin Laden. Despite early successes, bin Laden escaped, and the conflict in Afghanistan dragged on for years. In 2003, the U.S. shifted its focus to Iraq, accusing Saddam Hussein of possessing weapons of mass destruction. The invasion of Iraq led to the toppling of Saddam's regime, but it also sparked a violent insurgency. The war in Iraq became a breeding ground for new terrorist groups, including the Islamic State, ISIL. ISIL's rise in 2014 marked a new phase in the war on terror, with the group seizing large territories in Iraq and Syria. The US and its allies launched Operation Inherent Resolve to combat ISIL, using airstrikes and ground forces. The war on terror extended beyond the Middle East, with operations in Africa, the Philippines, and other regions. In Somalia, U.S. forces targeted al-Shabaab, an al-Qaeda affiliate, to prevent the spread of terrorism. The Philippines saw U.S. Special Forces assisting local troops in combating Islamist militants like Abu Sayyaf. In Northern Africa, Operation Juniper Shield aimed to disrupt terrorist activities and trafficking networks. The war on terror also involved controversial tactics, such as drone strikes and extraordinary rendition. Drone strikes targeted high-profile terrorists but also resulted in civilian casualties, sparking global criticism. Extraordinary rendition involved the secret transfer of detainees to countries where they were often tortured. The use of torture and secret prisons, like Guantanamo Bay, raised serious human rights concerns. The Patriot Act expanded U.S. surveillance powers, leading to debates over civil liberties and privacy. The war on terror had a significant human cost, with millions killed and displaced across multiple countries. The financial cost was also staggering, with the U.S. spending over $8 trillion on the war. Despite the end of major wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, smaller operations continue around the world. Critics argue that the war on terror has fueled more extremism and failed to address the root causes of terrorism. The war has also been accused of fostering Islamophobia and infringing on human rights globally. Security analysts emphasize the need for political solutions and negotiations to resolve conflicts. The legacy of the war on terror is complex, with ongoing debates about its effectiveness and morality. The war has reshaped global politics, security policies, and international relations. It has also left a lasting impact on the lives of millions who have been affected by the violence and displacement. As the world moves forward, the lessons from the war on terror continue to shape our approach to security and peace. The fight against terrorism is far from over, but it requires a more nuanced and comprehensive strategy. In the end, the war on terror reminds us of the importance of addressing the underlying issues that fuel conflict and violence.